What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Jez and Friends podcast, episode number 36. Today's episode is Jonah. Um, it's a bit different today since, as you can see, the footage looks prime, absolutely amazing. The only problem is after getting all the footage, coming back, checking the SD card, bloody none of the audio is saved. It was all static noise from the camera to Rodecaster, which is not the best. My apologies, and yeah, very disappointing. And yeah, just basically I'll just do a voiceover on what happened in the episode, and we're just gonna cover um everything that Jonah said. And yeah, also shout out to Jonah. Check out his YouTube channel JK Hero, which we will link in the bio and show notes. So let's get started. And in this episode we're discussing everything from like playing and watching cricket, doing a VC subject early, famous stall gift, and some funny stories. And the first question, as always, is hypotheticals. Which this week I just kept it the same. So like if Jonah was able to get like the best score in a subject, which would it be? He basically said any subject. Pretty much because like if you can knuckle down, get a 40 study score in any subject, then that's a really good effort. And yeah, I reckon anyone could get a 40 study score if they worked their ass off. And yeah. So the second question was obviously the music one. We love music on the podcast. And also we talk about, because some people don't listen to music, so podcasts are also in there. As everyone has a different taste. Whatever artists or music do you listen to, Jonah? And Jonah basically said his favorite artist is Imagine Dragons. I'm like kind of fan of them as well. Like not too big of a fan, but I rate Imagine Dragons. My favorite would be On Top of the World for Jonah. His favorite is Radioactive, probably because of like that drum beat, like da da da. Yeah, like that. I'm not really an artist, so yeah, that's all you hear from me. But yeah, like music is so wide that everyone has a different taste, and yeah, first time I've heard Imagine Dragons on a podcast, and yeah, it's good. Um, and next question was, tell us about your experiences with high school. Obviously, a few years left. How's the journey been, and future career aspirations? We spoke about how obviously Jonah's in year 10, I'm in year 11, and the homework is starting to pile up a lot more in the latter years of high school. It's been reasonably fair this holiday, so we just spoke about like the homework we've been doing. Jonah's got a fair bit of maths homework to do, and um, also business homework because he's doing VC business early, which is really good. Similar to what I did last year with doing VCP early. And for career aspirations, he doesn't really have any career aspirations yet, which is quite okay because some people or most people don't even have like a goal or career they want to go for. They just want to finish high school or even finish uni and see what they want to do afterwards. And yeah, that's completely fine as well. It's all dependent on like where you're at, where you plan to go, I guess. If that's uni, then VC would be probably a better option. But if it's also TAFE, you could do VCAL, and there's plenty of pathways as well from there. But yeah, as you can see, trying to stuff around with the Rodecaster, which $800 basically ruined the whole audio, which I wasn't very proud of. And look at that beautiful setup, by the way. Some people will know where that is, but yeah, undisclosed location. Alright, we'll move on to so talk about cricket now. Oh, not cricket. Sorry, we briefly discussed VC subjects. the subjects Jonah is doing, which is business management and maths early. I think he's doing advanced maths, well, it's similar to pre methods at our school, but um also doing VC business management 1 2, which I'm currently doing in year 11. It's a bit of a content heavy subject where it's quite boring sometimes. The content you learn is basically teaches you so many life skills like how to run a business, how businesses work, how to make a profit, etc. etc. And we talked about how maths is sometimes gets in your brain with all the equations and steps you have to remember. Um, and yeah, that really annoys me sometimes as well. Yeah, it's pretty funny. We'll move on to cricket now. I met Jonah through playing cricket last season with Flemington Gulls. So that wasn't too bad. My experience was obviously my first year playing cricket. The fundamental skills in terms of like bowling, batting, I, I reckon are pretty hard to master because there's so many shot techniques, some stances you have to cover. But I thoroughly enjoyed my time and wasn't too bad with the batting, but bowling need to work on maybe next season. And my question to him was, what was that like? Playing cricket this season with the boys. And when did you begin playing cricket? Um, Jonah said, this season was a really good season, even though we only won one match, which was against the team who won the premiership over Feldy. We bowled them out for like 30 something and chased it down pretty easily. That was one of the highlights of the season. Jonah also remembered playing senior cricket, getting a few wickets. He took a four for with his handy leg spinning bowling. That was also good, as well as he began cricket probably when he was like 10 years old, a while back compared to me. Cricket's his main sport, and yeah, he really enjoys it. Where we also touch on some funny problems with our team because our team wasn't the best with fielding, where we dropped plenty of catches that could have got us wins. But yeah, it's not all about that sometimes. So I guess yeah, we move on from that. And speaking of sports, I found out that Jonah also plays footy as well for Marby. Asked him about like the position he plays, and the team he follows in the AFL. So the position he plays for Marby is in the back pocket. I presume a trusty back pocket, who rebounds the ball really well and yeah, team player. He talked about they just played their round one match, um, the following weekend before, where they smashed some team by like over 100 points, 142 to one behind, maybe something like that. Anyway, it was quite astounding that under 16s footy, the other team apparently had 15 out of 22 who've never played footy in their life before, so or for a club before. That's pretty astounding considering once you turn like 16, you should at least know the fundamentals and have played for a few years. But yeah, that was pretty interesting to hear that like three quarters of the team never played like locally before, and that's probably why they smoked the other team. Also, his favourite AFL team is the Bombers. Yeah, I mean, they are going pretty well right now. Well, not very well. A few tight losses, but they're playing a lot better than North Melbourne. 1-3, and we're 4. So I guess that's Gordy's favourite player back in the day was Joe Watson. I mean, who doesn't love Joe? Amazing player. Um, in the midfield, winning all the clearances for the Dons back in the day, and yeah, great leader for the Bombers, even though that whole scandal. So we now move on to the quote of a podcast, which is um, push yourself because no one else is going to do it for you. Um, asked Jonah what is a quote or something he lives by. He basically said that he doesn't live by any quote. Yeah, and some people like that. You don't have to live by a quote. Or some people could live by many quotes. It's just like finding the right balance. And he said he just goes about his days just how it is. Like whatever happens, happens. Like if it's bad or if it's good, there's a really good mindset. He said like you learn from your mistakes, and you improve on them to become a better person. The main like type quote he said was stuff happens. And yeah, 100% like stuff happens. Could be bad, could be good, but stuff happens and you got to cope with it, try and deal with it. Or else, yeah, you'll be in a vulnerable position. Yeah, that will be basically the maybe quote of a week or title for the potty. We move on to now the last book or movie you've read or seen. Um, yeah, just try to have a think about it. So the last, we might have to cut this bit out because I honestly can't remember. Yeah, my apologies. Now we talk about the money segment, which we love the funny stories. We'll ask Jonah, are there any funny stories either from like school that he remembers fondly, that he wants to share, maybe also from cricket. So he had one from school, and funny stories. Usually they always come from like school camps. Which this funny story came from school camp. So basically, it would have been year 7 or 8 camp for Jonah. One of his first few camps for high school, where there was this playing area. You know those areas where like you can just chill out, like a chill out zone, chill out, have some fun, just like doze off or go hyper crazy. But the boys were, it was close to bedtime, probably after dinner, like 8 p.m. The boys had some cards, wanted to play the infamous Blackjack 21. For those who don't know Blackjack, um, you get 3 cards, and whoever's closest to 21 or gets 21 wins. Um, and they also played with poker chips, I believe, that day, which is pretty funny because sometimes sus things can happen with poker chips. You can cheat, stuff around, do all that. The teachers, they wanted to cover it up from the teachers, obviously, because poker's probably not recommended for teenagers, I suppose. So they played for a little bit, and they also ran out of poker chips because so many other boys were playing. So funny story, they had to like grab pebbles or rocks around the campsite and use them as basically chips. So that was pretty funny. They only got to play for around 20 minutes before they had to call it a day. Just really because teachers, they were looming around that playing area. Um, and if they got caught, probably would have got told off, stuff like that. But yeah, it was good. Boys had a little poker game, and I'm not sure if Jonah won or not, but good experience. Definitely recommend playing blackjack during camp because that's what we did. Except our rewards were whoever won got lollies, which I snuck to Lura. Shout out to people from Lura, but yeah, it was just, yeah, just so good playing a card game. You feel like you're in it most of the time, and just low intensity, just fun, just fun. And he also had another funny story from cricket. John is very talented with his cricket playing seniors at the age of, started last year at the age of 14, 15 playing seniors. For the Div 2, Div 3 side, that's pretty amazing. So the captain for the Div 3 side is called a man called Kelpie Legend. Usually gets the boys up all the time with his celebrations when he gets wickets, encouragement, stuff like that. So there was one time where Jonah bowled a reasonably good ball. I reckon had the batter advancing down the wicket, trying to get it to go for six, but it went in the air. Kelpie was under it, try to catch it. But then after that, like he tried to catch it. Then it just it didn't go to plan. So I think the ball slipped out of his hand, outstretched, outstretched hands, rebounded onto his face. Um, then it fell on the ground. So I mean that would have hurt, like the ball hitting your face, then dropping the catch as well. That was quite humiliating. It's good Jonah had a laugh about it and tells this funny story because um, pretty funny stitch up for Kelpie, who pretty much dropped an absolute sitter. He was right under it, and yeah, for those who play cricket, when you drop absolute sitters, you usually hear it from everybody. Thankfully, I've never dropped sitters. I think all my catches I've caught, and yeah, so never drop a catch or else you cop it from the block. In this case, the captain obviously copped it. And now we move on to the famous stall gift. So the stall gift, for those who don't know, is a famous running event which has been going on for more than 100 years. Down at stall near Ararat, kind of country Victoria, about 2 hours from Melbourne, actually maybe 3 hours. So you basically run on grass. There's plenty of coveted events such as 120 meters, which the prize money is astounding for men's and women's, 40k each. There's also a 4,000 meters, 400 meters, 800 meters, 1,600, 3,200, etc. But yeah, it's just all the best athletes come down and try to win prize money um, for the store gift, and that happens during Easter, the long weekend. So basically, Jonah's dad, Pete, who coached us this year for cricket, Bali legend, um, famously ran and won at store, which I remember mishearing something during senior cricket. Someone saying, "Oh, Pete, remember competing at store?" I'm like, was Pete really a sprinter? Couldn't picture it, but yeah, it's amazing how Pete won at store. I believe there's a over 35 seniors 120-meter handicap. So of the 120-meter race is the most prestigious, and Pete winning that's absolutely incredible. And yeah, that place just looks amazing. I hope to run there one day. And we talked about the handicap system as well. How like depending on the times you get for your heats during the season and all that, you get handicapped. So let's say for example during the 3,200-meter race, there was a kid called Jai Hadfield who was like roughly my age, 16, 17. He got handicapped the the best or the worst, but like he started about so he had a started at the very front, had like a lap advantage over the quickest runner over 1,500 for Australia, which is Stewie McSween, who started like a lap after Jai Hadfield. So Jai ran really well and came second because of that. Very very fair handicap. And that obviously helped him. Sadly, didn't have the legs to win that. Just got clipped by Tim Thorpe, I think his name is. And Stewie fought back really hard, even though the shocking handicap, dealt a shocking handicap, and came back to come fifth in the set, like a course record coming from the back marker. So yeah, that's amazing. And John also talked about Pete running 400 meters. So Pete didn't just run the 120-meter handicap; he also ran the 400 meters. And we spoke about the handicap system. So Pete came second in his heat. So if you come second in the heat, you don't progress to the next one. Usually, just the winners progress, unless there's obviously an injury. So Pete had the second fastest time of his heat and overall out of all the heats, and yet he still didn't progress to the final. And the guy who beat him in that heat um, didn't go very far in that 400-meter race. So that was pretty interesting. Um, and yeah. we will move on to the talk briefly about the podcast setup now. So, in a nutshell, I've got some podcasting equipment from school that I could borrow. Shout out to Siva Legend for letting me borrow this. As you can see, the bottom middle, how do you describe it? Yeah, my English is shocking today, but that is a Rodecaster, absolutely sexy audio mixer where you can adjust the volume, um, the tone, the pitch, etc. Play some funny sounds, and yeah, I mean, in the end, it backfired and we lost all the audio, so wasn't very happy. And there's a Rode Pod mic, which I rate, very good mic. We got some, I reckon it was clean audio, but obviously they dogged us like that. Probably my fault as well. We did audio checks. It looked fine. I reckon the first bit, I don't know what happened. I thought it was fine, just like static noise, and the whole recording was just static noise, like buzz, 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 buzz without any volume. And we used a brilliant camera of a Nikon 200D. First time using a camera. It's just amazing. Like, and found this studio as well, which is cool. And the background looks pretty amazing. So I was showing about thoughts on the potty setup. He thought it was great. Hopefully in the future we can do similar type setups like this. Except keep dwelling on it, but yeah, the audio better work next time. And yeah, we'll move on now to my next question is, what are some places you'd like to visit down the line for Jonah? Um, and have you been to any good places around Australia and beyond? Um, so he said basically a place he'd want to visit down the line would be Japan, just purely because of the culture. Like, the food there is absolutely amazing. Sushi, we have some in Australia, obviously. Sushi's alright, but like the other cuisine there is world class. And we spoke about the bullet trains that go 300 kilometers per hour, even more. Um, and you go so quickly that you might feel dizzy. And imagine just traveling from one stop to another. That could be a 10-second travel time. And yeah, that's honestly amazing. Also, a funny bit is when you hop on the bullet train. I remember my years five teacher telling me this, but you get pushed onto the train, so everyone is squashed in. I'm not sure how the people in Tokyo are doing it now because obviously probably like COVID restrictions and stuff. But I'd imagine even though they'd all be wearing masks, restrictions are eased in the bullet trains. And we also Japanese culture. Like, I remember watching Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. The cars there look amazing as well. All those like Hondas, stuff like that in Japan. It's just amazing. And they have so many car manufacturers there. We would produce like cheap goods, and high quality goods as well. It's honestly amazing and a good holiday spot, which yeah, good pick from Jonah. And we talked about like some places he's visited before, like in Australia and beyond. So beyond, he's been to Italy because his one side is from Italy. The food there, Italian food is just amazing. Like the pizza, obviously. Italians have brought it to Australia with some restaurants like yeah, just like a few. I can't like Black Bacchetta, and the list goes on. But yeah, we talked about pizza, pasta, gelatos. Yep, it's just the food there is amazing. I remember doing Italian. And I describe the food as bellissimo because it's absolutely beautiful. Spoke about like other countries I've been to. I think Singapore, Greece, the UK, and a few others that I may have forgotten. But yeah, he said he's very blessed to have been to these countries, and hopefully down the line he can travel to a few more. So now we're gonna move on to the new segment called Quick Hands, which is basically 5 questions. Quick Hands, for those that don't know, is a quick handball that you fire off to a teammate. just for fun sometimes, and also so you don't get tackled by the opponent for those who play AFL footy. Um, the first question was pineapple on pizza, yes or no? It wasn't an obvious answer, but Jonah said yes to pineapple on pizza, even though he may get his own for saying yes to pineapple on pizza, because of his Italian heritage. But he said Italian pizza, pineapple pizza is really good because he likes that sweet and savory taste on the pizzas. I'd, I'd say the same as well because it just makes it taste like kind of weird but good at the same time. And he also said no just because the Italians would kill you or disown you if you said yes to pineapple on pizza. So a bit of yes, no, maybe in this scenario. Um, yeah, we move on to English or maths for Jonah, and he said maths purely because he enjoys solving the equations. Like some equations are complex, but the whole process going through the equations, asking for help, learning new techniques to solve different questions, and he finds English quite boring, like most of us do. But yeah, some people like math, some people like English. It's either one or the other. Like always, if you like both, and I don't know what's wrong with you. Like, gotta pick one, buddy. The next one is the favorite dismissal in cricket. So like when you get someone out when you're bowling. For Jonah is the infamous straightforward bold. Bold, for those who don't know, is when you bowl the ball and the ball hits the stumps and knocks the bails off. Usually, it makes the biggest impact on the team. It feels the best. The celebrations always the best. Everyone just feels that like 10% more pumped up to do things, which is really good. Well, um, we spoke about like that famous Shane Warne dismissal of Mike Gang, like the one between the legs. And Jonah's dismissal was similar to that, like between the legs. So yeah, maybe a bit of a recreation, but in grassroots cricket. That's good. The fourth one was favorite place to visit in Melbourne. For this one, famous place to visit in Melbourne. I think I'm pretty sure Jonah said the Great Ocean Road because like that's such an iconic holiday destination. Everyone goes there all the time. I know I've been there, seen the 12 Apostles. Been to this cool ass chocolate factory down there where the chocolate is amazing. It's all produced there. Um, and yeah, there's just so many attractions down there. The beaches are beautiful, no pollution. Overall, just a great holiday destination. For those who haven't been to the Great Ocean Road, surely maybe next holidays you should head down there, check it out, and just enjoy yourself down there. No technology, obviously. Just enjoy the view, and the beautiful restaurants as well. And the final quick hands question is common phrases you use. Jonah couldn't think of a common phrase he used just from the bat, so I gave him a like impromptu. Um, Basically, we go back to his quote he said earlier that like stuff happens. You can't control what things happen. Essentially, so just stuff happens. Like doesn't matter what it is, what you do, but like you move on, you learn from it, you grow, and everyone will repeat it one more time. Stuff happens. Next one is I learned this from Mojo Crow. This guy is amazing. Worked with Nike, Andre Agassi, and stuff, and he's been on like the Dylan Friends podcast. He's got his own thingy where he like talks about like um also coaching, but motivational speaking and getting you in the right mindset. Also works with Ash Barty, Dustin Martin, just amazing bloke. But he talked about on the Hugh Van Carlenberg's podcast for Imperfects about like your happiest memory, and he went in depth into like your earliest happiest memory. But today we just spoke about your happiest memory, and we dived into like the sporting field. And for Jonah, his happiest memory on the cricket field, playing cricket, like his favourite sport, obviously. And that would have been, I think, a few years ago playing senior cricket as well, where he got 4 wickets. An amazing achievement. Um, where he's got a few cheeky dismissals, like bowled, stumped, called like everything. Um, and that's the moment like he's most proud of, because performing, playing with adults against adults, is obviously a big ask for like a 14, 15 year old, and massive congratulations to him for playing so well in the seniors. And I think he could have got a five for that day, but going back to that funny story, I think Calfee dropped an absolute sitter to stop him from raising the ball up. So yeah, it's still a good experience, and one of his happiest memories playing cricket. The next one is motivation. I think this segment is called next week, but like, pick a famous role model and discuss their impact on you. A famous quote from them will feature on the show. Um, we didn't have too much from this one, but Jonah spoke about one of his YouTube motivators. I can't remember who their name was, but we spoke about like drama alerts, stuff like that. So we still, sorry, losing my words here. Spoke about like Keemstar, flat reacts, all those people, how they basically just discuss what happens in the world, the entertainment industry with YouTube, and put their own spin around things, which is what Jonah enjoys sometimes in his spare time, looking at other people's opinions on like other YouTubers, because gotta love a bit of gossip sometimes, you know. Gotta love a bit of it. Can't live life without gossip. Some people, you like Keemstar, Flight Reacts, obviously have to gossip in order to stay afloat. But yeah, their channels are amazing. And they've built a really good platform out of that. And yeah, maybe not the best like famous role model, but still like their impact towards people like just tuning in for YouTube entertainment is amazing, because most of entertainment used to be just like listening to the news, seeing what happens like um with the sporting industry, with business industry, like um stuff happening around like bad stuff you hear on the news, like 80 -20% bad, but in this case it's probably 80 -20 good. Similarly, but instead on the YouTube side of things. And yeah, we also asked Jonah about what's next for him in terms of 2021, any goals he has, top three goals, I suppose. And his number one goal would be to do well in school. I know he spoke about, yeah. Let's bring it up now. So would have been a few years back when he was in year 8 or year 7. He got this it's like a ducks for obviously younger year levels. Where Jonah received this ducks at the awards night they do. Anyone been to an awards night for school? It's absolutely amazing. I know our school does it at the clock tower, where you dress up like in a suit, fancy stuff, and receive your award. And yeah, honestly amazing. Jonah was very happy that day. And I think that was also played a part into his happiest memory as well. So two happy memories where dressed up, received his award. His parents were there, and obviously gave him some good words, and um embraced afterwards, really good. And if you receive an award from the school Jonah goes to, you also get a discount from your school fees, which is also a plus. That's pretty amazing, because the school fees at Jonah's school is a bit more expensive than public schools, because yeah, he goes to a private school, I think, where like the select entry and stuff that happens. Yeah, that was a good bonus in the end. And I encourage people to work hard I'm sure Jonah would say the same, but to work hard with pretty much doing their best they can in SACS exams, because if you do really well, and the end of the year is a celebration, you get nominated for an award, and it just feels so good. I remember myself getting an award last year, and the voucher was beautiful. A few gift cards ranged over the $100 mark, and spent it on some good stuff. So you work hard, you get rewarded. Cliche, but true story, and just gotta grind, guys. Gotta grind. You're in school for a reason to have a better future, so don't waste your time then. It goes so quick, and you build so many memories of high school. Um, I reckon I built the majority of my memories through high school. Even primary school, like so many memories, except high school is you remember it more fondly because you're older as well. But yeah, that's good. And his second goal would be to do well in his VC subject. I know we're talking about the school a lot, but the next will be about a sporting goal. But this one is yeah, because obviously you're doing a VC subject early. Um, what Jonah's doing similar to me last year in year 10, where there's a bit of pressure. Like you obviously prioritize your 1-2 subject. As for me, 3-4, I'm prioritizing this year. But yeah, like he's putting a lot of effort into his business, even though sometimes the content gets a bit boring. But and he said he did really well in his first sack. I think in the 80s, so very good. Can't say the same about me, but good effort from Jonah. He should keep that up, and I reckon he'll near that 40 study score mark next year in 2022. But yeah, so do well on your VC subject, because your early one could play a huge role in your ATAR, and it's best to do the best you can. Like we teachers always say, and I'm trying to say to you guys now, and the final goal for Jonah would be to. It's a sporting goal. I know we spoke about cricket earlier. He loves his cricket, so this goal would be to, because there's three divisions in the Flemington Girls. So there's Div One, obviously all the talents go there. Div Two, where still very talented people just enjoy themselves a little bit more and more refine their skills to make it to that Div One. And also Div Three, where it's more social. People take it less seriously. I remember I played my first Div Three game this year, where everyone got around me, even the opposition and the umpires. And it's a lot loose. Like there's not. I feel like senior cricket, there's not as much pressure on you. As opposed to junior cricket, there's a lot more pressure to do well because playing with your mates. They'll bag you if you do shit. But yeah, end of story. And Jonah's goal, I know I've been waffling on, but his goal is to maintain that level and play Division Two cricket. And to play really well in terms of like wickets. Jonah's primarily a bowler, where if he knows he bowls well, hits his spots, he can get a few handy wickets. I know we talked about his forfer, and just play his role like maiden overs, keeping the score down, and enticing the batsman to hit a big shot when it isn't on to get the wicket. Um, and just that consistency as well. Like the more senior cricket he plays, the better he's going to get. So spoke about that. And without a doubt, I reckon in the next few years, Jonah's going to make leaps and bounds towards playing Div 1 cricket for the girls, even though he says he's a bit of a long way off. But, mate, Jonah, you got this, mate. Just keep up the hard work. And, mate, Div 1 is knocking on the door in the coming years. Maybe in year 12, I don't know. Yeah, and the final question, as you guys know, is where the guest can ask me a question because I ask them lots of drainers, which last close to an hour. So I thought it'd be fair for them to ask me a question and, yeah, basically have their fun. Right, and it's always nothing about the podcast. So Johnny's question to me was, sorry if I got this wrong. I had to think about it, but almost certain that it was what do you want to achieve this year, Jerry? And my response was like, for those who know, this year I'm not playing footy purely because during lockdown last year I got really invested into my running. Where my goal this year is to make states in either athletics or cross country. If I keep putting the effort now, I reckon that's doable. Which I said to Jonah. He had a laugh about it. He said, "Oh, I need a bit of coaching from Pete." No, that's good. And yeah, Tommy to keep it up. And also about the podcast, like we spoke about, how this year is a stepping stone for taking the podcast to the next level, which fingers crossed. I mean, I think I've done so far this year, like taking it to the next step. With like consistent episodes every week. Trying to do this up until December. We're already a third of the way through, so good start so far. And just keeping uploading everything consistent, like we said earlier, and maybe next year we can earn some bit of cash, bit of monetization, bit of a long way off of that goal, but you gotta set high goals in order to come close to them. Because if you set too achievable goals, you're not gonna get anywhere. So, I know I pride myself on the spark goals, and yeah, that's basically it. Um, and also, another plug. If you guys have made it this far with my boring tone without hearing Jonah, my apologies again. Like the audio mishap. I know next time if I ever do another one outside of just outside outdoors in the studio, I will try and fix that for next time. But anyway, Jonah has been over the holidays and this year so far. He's been doing a YouTube channel where he. It's interesting because I love my gaming and haven't played in a while, but the games I play are like more modern, like FIFA. Every FIFA that comes out, like GTA, or shooter games, Rainbow Six Siege, Call of Duty, etc. For those gamers out there. Um, but Jonah, he plays more old school games like on a Nintendo 64 with Super Mario, Super Smash Bros. Those OG games, which I've had a look at a couple of days ago. We'll link in show notes and stuff. Check out his YouTube channel, JK Hero. Doing good things. Just keep the uploads consistent, Jonah, because I know soon you might take over my subscribers because you're getting a lot more clicks, mate. Keep up the good work. If you love old school games and just the Mario franchise, it was just sick looking back at like um games. I've never touched the Nintendo 64, but games like back in the 90s that some people obviously don't play nowadays because it's like 20 years gone. But yeah, it's good that Johnny's doing that. Um, type of gaming and props to him. We'll shout it out and stuff. But yeah, go check it out, guys. Please, JK Hero on YouTube. Give him a sub, like, comment, everything. Um, and that's basically like. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of a Jez and Friends podcast. I know this week's episode is a bit different. My apologies for like the shocking audio mishap. Um, yeah, so sorry, guys. And remember, push yourself because no one else is gonna do it for you. Jonah, I know you're probably gonna